Primarily I do animation, but I also do 3D chalk art and anamorphic illusions. So an anamorphic illusion is where you skew a picture to compensate for perspective. So you want to have it really elongated and flare out so that when perspective shrinks it, it creates the illusion that there's a 3D object there. Normally I do video production and animation as my main job, and then I also do illustration. So right now I'm working a lot of plant-based illustrations and botany illustrations. I saw these chalk art pictures online and I thought, I want to learn how to do that. So I just kind of reverse engineered it by putting a frame up with string tied across in a grid pattern, and then I just started trying to put marks on the ground that made a 3D picture, and it took forever, but that was my way of trying to figure out how the process worked, and slowly I've just learned more tricks. And you talk to professionals at the big chalk art festivals and they give you the odd little tip, and most important is just trial and error. I just kind of taught myself how to do it, and anyone with a little bit of tenacity and patience can learn how to do it. It was great to get the kids involved, so I'd give them a quick little explanation of what I do, but then I would get the chalk in their hands and let them try and practice. And I would just do very simple things like showing them how to draw a 3D cube, starting with one square and offset another different square and connect the lines. And you'd be amazed at how they thought that was just the most amazing thing. And then once my big illusions came to life, they were just dazzled by that. Yesterday I made a gigantic hole in the concrete, or the illusion of a hole in the concrete, and many kids tried to jump in, but they were not transported to a magical world like Mary Poppins though. Yeah, it is a bit of magic because your eyes are rarely tricked, but this is a good way to trick someone's eyes. I always like to make those huge chasms where people look like they're on a precarious situation when really they're just on a flat concrete sidewalk. One of my goals is to make adults act silly. Like kids, you can make them act silly easily, but adults not so easy. But when you get them in a situation where they're standing in front of a big pit of lava, you can get adults to be silly, and that's fun. The whole idea was originally born in the Italian Renaissance when they had those curved ceilings of the chapels. Sometimes even make it look like there was angels shining down from. And in order to create that illusion on a curved surface, you have to compensate for that. And then later on, people started doing paintings flat on the ground and creating these illusions of things popping up, and that's what I like to do. During the 2006 Stanley Cup playoffs, I was drawing a Stanley Cup on the sidewalk with some kids just for fun. And then I thought I should try and do that for real, and I went out to the Coliseum on one of the big playoff nights and did a huge Stanley Cup that was a 3D illusion and made it look like it was actually standing there. Yeah, CBC did a quick view of it, but the funny thing is they viewed it from the side, and so they just probably saw a big silver and black smear. I'm not sure they knew it was a Stanley Cup. Well, that's the funny thing about anamorphic illusions, is you have to view it from the exact focal point. And as you walk around, the image becomes very distorted. And when you walk around the opposite angle of the focus point, you actually can't even tell what it is. Yeah, well, I kind of like the idea of ephemeral art, art that is just there for the moment and then gone. Several of the chalk art festivals I've been at have ended with rain, and one of the ones in Victoria, we just finished our piece. Everyone was kind of getting up and taking pictures, and then 15 minutes later, a huge shower came down and washed them all away. And we all kind of just laughed because that's the nature of this art form. It's kind of like ice sculptures or any of those kind of ephemeral art forms where you just have to enjoy it for the moment. It's nice to have things that stick around and you can show people, but the ephemeral art is just fun for people to enjoy in the moment. And if you see a little reproduction of a painting in a book, it's much different than seeing the gigantic version in a museum. And so it's nice to have these kind of events where people are kind of compelled to come down and view the piece in person rather than just seeing it online or in a book.